Okay, so this is session 3 on January 7th, Kapital 3. Okay, enter our hero, Zalman. Emissär hat angeklopft in Tier. Somebody knocked on the door. Es ist reingekommen ein Mensch von etwas mehr von mittleren Hoch und älter, a dunkler, mit a hübscher, etwas zugeputzte braune Bord, festgebeut. Okay, let's stop right there. So in comes a person of, the word etwas, when I looked it up in the Dutch dictionary, it said it's like epis, like somewhat, slightly, from a middle height and older, an older person. Excuse me?
An age.
An
Middle
age. Yeah,
height
yeah.
and
It's just the
age.
way it's written
Yeah.
is it seems a little strange. Okay, an older,
Elderly.
an elderly, oh, a little older. Yeah, we're all
No,
uh,
I think it says von Mittenhoch und älter, of middle height and middle age.
and middle age. I think it's in middle age and elder. Okay, a middle-aged man, middle height, dark, with a hibsha. I could not find that word, hibsha. Somebody knows. I looked it in various places and could not find it. Somewhat, somebody knows the word hipsha?
Substantial.
Like hipsha, like with a pay, like hipsha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like that's what I thought it might be, but a substantial, somewhat organized, put together brown beard. And he was, and now we're getting his personal qualities here. He was very solidly built. This is a solidly built person. Mit freundlichen Ponym, rein ungetun, with a friendly face, dressed in a clean fashion. Hat nicht gewahrt, Moshe soll ihm vorstellen. He didn't wait for Moshe to present him. Ist tekef zugegangen zu Merin, ihm genommen von Hand und in brustiger Stimme gesagt. So he didn't wait. He doesn't wait for anything. This is a solid person. Went right up to Meir, took him by the hand, and with a throaty voice, a deep voice, a full voice, said, Ich bin Zalman. I'm Zalman. Dein Tate hat dir schon mit Stimme gesagt, wer und was ich bin. Not just wer, but was. Your father certainly told you who and what I am. Und zu Mäuschen, a schöner Mensch bist du. This is said sort of ironically. Getel wart doch auf euch. What a fine person you are, he says. Gittel is waiting for you. Sie hat angegräht a welchere Menni Melech. Und du hast a filu nicht gelost wissen, as Meir is schon angekommen. What a fine person you are. Gittel was waiting for you. She has prepared a lunch suitable for a king, and you didn't even tell us that Meir had already arrived. Moshe hat sich verantwortet. Moshe answered, Ich hab gewollt, als Meir soll sich a bissel abruhen. I wanted that Meir would have a chance to rest a bit. Wir wollten sicher gekommen in Abend. We would certainly have come in the evening. Aber als du sagst, As Gittel will mir sollen kommen verwässere, but since you are telling us that Gittel wants us to come for the lunchtime meal, du hast an Anzug sich überzutun? Mayor, do you have a suit to change into? You wouldn't think he would come from the shtetl with a suit, but maybe his Shabbos clothes. Und a hemd and a shirt, tu sich über. Dress uh, dress yourself over. No, that's not the right way to say it.
Change your clothes.
Change your clothes. Right. That's a good way of putting it. Change your clothes. Zalman hat sich ausgefragt auf Meils Familie und andere Bekannte in dem Städtel, hat gewollt wissen, wenn Moshe klebt sich zu kaufen Pferd und Wagen. Zalman asked Meir about the family and other known familiar people in the shtetl, and he also wanted to know when Moshe was planning, klebt sich zu, is planning to buy a horse and wagon. Wie lang is der Schiel, hat gesagt, zu sein allein der Pferd. How long can this be? How long can this continue? He asked, that you are going to be the horse. And we know that there have been problems for Moshe with this. Was Geld is shayach, is still geblieben. So if what he seems to be saying is if money is the issue, and then he became silent. Indicating that if it's a question of money, Moshe, I would be willing to help. At least that's what I read in that sentence. Upon him, hat mehr nicht gewollt reden in Meils Kengwald. Apparently, he didn't want to talk any more about this in Meir's presence. Meir had angetun a bläulichen Anzug. He put on a blue suit, a hemd, und an ähnlicher Kollel, a shirt of the same color, und a roten Schnitt, and a red tie. Looks very handsome. Wenn sie seinen Scheun gewähnt gerät, hat Zalman guckendig auf Meir gesucht. When they were getting ready to leave, Zalman, looking on Meir, had said, Nit kein mies Bocherol ausgewachsen. This he grew into not a bad-looking young man. Du wirst noch öfter tonne Schiddach mit etliche Tausend Pfund nudden. You're likely to get a match with several thousand pounds of dowry. They signed in a hoist, and they went out. So we've learned a lot about Zalman already, positives and negatives. Zalman's hoist.
Nechama,
Yeah.
the word večera is actually supper, not lunch.
Oh, really? So when he says they're going to come in the evening, he meant they would come after the supper. They would eat at home, some of his sibilas, and then they would go. Something like that.
Well,
Okay.
It might be that this
No,
comes
I
from the
think
Russian večer. The Russian večer is evening, and very often when the Russians talk about a večer, they're talking about giving a party.
All right. Well, I think here probably it is the evening meal, and they were planning to go in the evening after. He wanted Meir to rest a little bit, and they would have a bite to eat, and then they would go over. But Zalman and Gittel had other plans.
Yeah, Gittel had prepared the supper.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. It was lovely. Zalman's Haus ist gestanden beim Grenitz von Feria und Onhebstadt. Oh, by the way, just an aside, I should have said this before, that I have a South African neighbor who told me that if you, by the time, she's maybe a little older than us, but by the time she was growing up in Johannesburg, if somebody bought an old car, they would say to the person, "Where did you get it?" Inferior. It had become an area that was considered a low class slum like area. But at this point, it's a little different. So Zalman's house stood on the boundary between Ferrier and the city. So we are already moving up. A große Holz- und Blechgebäude, a large wood and metal structure, mit a Hilzener Veranda. I learned from our session before, with a wooden veranda, gefallen hellbräun, and it was painted a light brown. Auf der Veranda a Tischel, a paar Stühlen, Weißonnes mit Blumen. And on the veranda, there's a table and a few seating stools and flowers in pots. Very, very civilized and pleasant. Durch die offene Fenster haben in Wind geflantelt, gehälkte Gardinen. Through the open windows were moving gardenias, the flower.
Drapes.
No, through the open
Drapes.
Drapes. That makes much more sense. They were drapes,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
And they,
I thought it was gardenias. I thought that was quite lovely too, but I think drapes is was what was meant here.
yeah,
I like
ge-
gardenias just because I happen to like that flower. But anyway, Zalman had geöffnet.
gehäkelte is crocheted. Crocheted drapes.
Crocheted drapes. So very, very lovely and civilized. Zalman had geöffnet die Fronttür und sie seien rein in a langen Korridor. Zalman opened the front door and they came into a long corridor. Beim Reingang rechts is gestanden a Kleiderhänger. As they came in, on the right side was standing a clothes hanger. An Kegen links a Spiegel und über ihm verzweigte Hirschenhörner. So on the right side is this clothes hanger, and opposite that, on the left side, is a mirror. And over the mirror is this divided horns of deer? Like what is it? What I'm picturing? The idea of that is that what's hanging there?
well, it's kind of a branch, so it would be branched horns.
Branched horns, yes, but that's what that's what Zalman had in his house.
Presumably.
Well,
pairs of horns.
Yeah. All right. So we were in South Africa after all. Zalman had sie reingeführt in a große Wartezimmer, wo es seinen gestanden, einige mit Leder bezogene Stühlen, a sofa. Zalman led them into a large waiting room in which there were several leather covered stools and a sofa. Auf die tapezierte Wand, on the wallpapered walls, Familienbilder. Zalman hat sie gebeten sich setzen und allein ist raus zurück in Korridor und gerufen, Gittel, Zalman asked them to sit, and he alone went back into the corridor, and he called Gittel, 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 a Niederiger, a Morgerer, is reingekommen, getonne, guck auf die Gäste. Gittel, a short woman, a short, thin woman, came in, and she took a look at the guests. Gott, mein Gott, oh my God, Merel, Merel, ich wollt dir nicht gekannt, wenn ich wollt nicht gewusst, als du bist gekommen. I would not have recognized you if I did not know that you were coming. Und ich wollt dir nicht gesehen mit dein Vater zusammen. And if I hadn't seen you with your father. In other words, you looked so different from what I remember that I would not have known you if I didn't know that you were coming and you arrived with your father. Sie hat ihm angebeugen zu sich und ihm getan kiss. She held him to her. She gave him a kiss. Zalman hat gelacht. Seht nur, wie sie hat sich es herumgehabt mit der schönen Bochel. Zalman gave a laugh. Look at this, the way she immediately grabbed this good-looking young man. Sie hat sich zugesetzt und angeheben sich nachfragen auf seine Mutter, die Kinder und Freund und Bekannte in die alte Heim. So she sat down, and she asked him about his mother, the children and friends and known people, familiar people in the old home. Let's see what's doing on time. I'll read just a little bit more before. I don't want to hog it here. Okay. Moshe hat gewollt wissen, wo seien die Kinder? Moshe wanted to know where are the kids, meaning Zalman's kids, Zalman and Gittel's. Wo seien sie nicht? Where are they not? Hat Zalman gesagt. Where are they? Where do you not find them? Zalman said. Bashevis will ausleisen die Welt durch Sozialism. Bashevis, Batsheva wants to save the world through socialism. Hat sie entdeckt as a chevra dor in Stadt, und sie ist Keseder vernommen. She has discovered such a group in the town, and she is constantly taken up with this. Nicht mit Sozialism, nor mit helfen eingedrängen Tänz, organizing dances, verkaufen Billetten für Konzerte, and selling tickets for concerts. I guess these are fundraisers. Die dosige Menschen seien nebig Ohren, und sie nötigen sich in Geld anzuhalten der Hevraseere. These people are unfortunately poor people, and they need money to hold their group together. Und Ruvain, so that's what she's doing, and Ruvain will bringen Mashiach bald die Zeit. Ruvain is trying to bring Mashiach before his time. Is a Zionist, liegt der Zug und Nacht bei die Zionim. He's day and night with the Zionists. Was sie tun dorten, weiß ich nicht. Ich weiß nur, als nicht die Sozialisten und nicht die Zionisten geben sie Essen. I don't know what they're doing there, but one thing I know this, that these socialists and these Zionists are not giving them food. Sie kommen ständig essen heim. Sie wollen bald kommen. They come home to eat. They're going to come home very soon.
Gittel ist gewinn unzufrieden. Sie hat gesorgt. Gittel was pleased, and she said,
Mm-mm. The
not
opposite.
unzufrieden.
Zufrieden. She's not satisfied. She's not happy. I think zufrieden
Thank
means
you.
Dissatisfied.
dissatisfied. She's not satisfied. She's unhappy with
Okay,
what,
thank
what
you.
Zalman said.
Right. Du hast geseder Kindness zu deine Kinder. You're always complaining about your children. Soll sie tun, was sie tun. Let them do what they're doing. Willst du gewinnen zufriedener, wenn sie wollten verbracht die Nacht bei Kortentischlich oder in andere nicht kein waschene Arbeiten? I'm going to need help with that sentence. Are you going to be dissatisfied when they
Would you be
verbracht die
more
Nacht? What is
satisfied?
that?
See here. Look at zufrieden and here
And
zufrieden.
zufrieden.
You would be
Okay.
now. Would you be satisfied?
And what's verbracht die Nacht?
Spend
If
their
they spend their
nights.
nights,
Spent
if
their
they spend
nights.
their nights playing cards, yeah, at card tables or in other nicht kein vajna, some other kind of unimportant occupations.
No, unimpressive. Vaishnav means
Mm-hmm.
impressive, but it's tongue in cheek. It's not wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a Russian word. Don't you know it?
Yeah.
Well, vajna is important in Russian.
Oh, okay. And so in Yiddish, it's used important, but in an ironic way.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
But it's a Slavic
Emetzer,
word.
what?
Yeah.
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 Emetzer, what uploadiert.
No, arbeiten, not such. Oh, someone applauded.
Applaudiert.
Applaud.
Somebody applauded. Alle haben sich umgeguckt. Everybody looked. In Tier, in gestanden a heuche, dunkele, abgerundigte Mädel. So at the door was standing a tall, dark-skinned, what's abgerundigte?
That's actually a
Plump.
German word. It's a German word. Well-rounded or well-formed.
Mm-hmm.
Well-formed young woman. Sie hat sich geräutelt und geschmeichelt in Verlegenheit sehende fremde Menschen. What is geräutelt?
Blushed. Bright.
She blushed
It's
and
not the
she
wrinkles,
smiled.
it's the reutel. She turned red, right.
She
It's
turned
not a
red
Yeah.
mem, it's a tet.
and she smiled, perhaps seeing these strange men there. Gittel hat sich gewendet zu ihr. Gittel said to her, "Komm mal rein, Basheva. Komm mal rein. Come on in, Basheva. Come on in." Mäuschen, kannst du doch und mehr gedenkst du noch gewiss. Ihr hat sich oft gespielt zusammen mit noch Kinder. So you will recognize Moshe and Meir because you played often with them as children. Meir is erst heimgekommen. Meir just got here today. Vasheva is zugekommen und langt Meir a Hand. Vasheva came in and she extended her hand to Meir. Sie haben sich angeguckt ungeschmeichelt. They looked at each other and they smiled. Ich gedenk euch nicht von der Heim, hat Meir gesagt. I don't remember you from back home, Meir said. Unter die 8 Jahr, was wir haben sich nicht gesehen, seien mir beide ausgewachst und physisch sich gebitten. So in the 8 years that we haven't seen each other, we've both grown up and we've changed physically.
Gittel hat gelacht, Gittel laughed. Zalman, du hörst a loschen. Zalman, listen, you hear this language. Meir ist Bathsheba. Meir is saying thou to Bathsheba. Kinder,
I don't see where he said that. Where did he say that?
if instead of do, he said if.
I know, but if I look at the text, I don't find that.
It is,
Okay,
It's Bathsheba.
Ich
That's right.
gedenk euch.
If gedenk eich, neat. Okay. But he didn't.
So if he was
All right.
using
I mean, I
familiar
know the
form, he
difference.
would've-
He's asked, they're speaking very formally.
Yeah.
Are we in the same place? If
Yeah, right. You are.
Kinder aufgewachsen zusammen, kids who grew up together, die meinten ein Eltern, almost the same age, if, and they are thouing each other. Gittel, wir seien hungrig. Gittel, we're hungry, what Zalman gesagt. Zalman said is very concrete. Der Tisch is great, the table is prepared. Give us and give us something to eat. Ruvain wird bald kommen. Ruvain will also be back soon. Wenn alle seien schon gesessen am Tisch, when everyone was already sitting around the table, is reingekommen ein niedrig blond bocher, a short blonde young man came in. Hat sich bewegt, he moved quickly, ungeduldig, impatiently. Hat sich herumgeguckt, he looked around. Kennt Moshe und ihm begrüßt. He recognized Moshe and greeted him. And said, we see you so infrequently, what had him gesagt. He said to him, und das ist gewiss Meir, and this is definitely Meir, ausgewachsen, he has grown up, keinen Horror, no evil eye should fall on him. Ich wollte him bestimmt häufig nicht erkannt. There's no way I would have recognized him. Taka erscheint angekommen, have you really only arrived today? Ja, hat Moshe geantwortet. Yes, Moshe answered. Die Bahn, the train, wie gewöhnlich, as usual, is gewesen spät, was late, und ich hab sich schon geschrocken, and I was already frightened, gemeint thinking, as etwas, was hat passiert, as etwas, was hat passiert mit Meir, that something may have happened with Meir, versamt den Bahn, he may have missed the train, too late for the train, oder rob of a stancia in Mittenweg, or else he got off at a station somewhere midway. Der Schmutz hat sich nicht geklebt. The talk didn't hang together. Bathsheba, welche is gesessen an Kegenmeieren, who was sitting opposite Meir, hat oft gehabt seine Blicken auf sich, often caught him looking at her, aber sie haben nicht gefunden, was zu sagen, einer zum anderen. But they didn't find anything to say to each other. Salman hat ein paar Mal gemacht, Bemerkungen wegen die Mekachim. Salman a few times remarked about the salaries, ja, Fleisch, die Mekachim.
The price, isn't it the price of the meat?
The price, sorry, you're right, the price of the meat. And Unzufriedenheit von Schochte mit seiner Gehalt. And he was unhappy with the slaughterers and their salaries, Gehalt, yeah, and Mekach, yeah, the price. Gittel hat geredet wegen das Leben in der alten Heim. Gittel spoke about the life in the old home und ist gekommen zum Ausführ and came to the conclusion, as dort ist das Leben gewesen ein besserer, that life was better over there, wobei viele man hat oft gelebt in Schreck und Schreckes, even if one lived there with fright and poverty. Ein schöner Leben ist es gewesen. It was a nice life, hat Ruben bemerkt. Ruben said, hat geschwiegen und noch gemolden. He was quiet and then afterwards he continued. Die hebräische Klassen, die Hebrew classes, zu welchen man hat sich gekriegt, eine längere Zeit haben sich am Morgenabend. The Hebrew classes that we have been preparing for a long time, starting tomorrow evening. For wem and for whom hat Moshe gefragt? Moshe asked, for jeder einem, for everyone, welche will gründlich der lernen die hebräische Sprache, for everyone who wants to foundationally or thoroughly learn the Hebrew language, Reuven said. Ich meine, I think what Zalman bemerkt, Zalman mentioned, as es Wort gewinn, gedeiht, it would have been better und praktischer and more practical, wenn man wollte einstellen, Klassen zu lernen, die neigekommene, die englische Sprache, if we would institute classes to teach the new arrivals English language. Das wollte sie verklingert und vergittert, das Einordnen sich in Land zu verdienen. That would have eased and hastened settling in, organizing themselves in the country in order to be able to earn a living. Der Vater hat Reuven gesagt, therefore Reuven said, is voran an Offenschulf. For that, Reuven said, there is an evening school. Es kostet eine Kleinigkeit, hereinzutreten dahin. It costs very little to enter that school. Hebräisch is an anderer Indian. Hebrew is something else, another matter. Von einem zionistischen Standpunkt, from the Zionist point of view, what Basheva remarked, wollte man gedarf lernen die türkische Sprache, one would have to learn Turkish, dann wollte man öfter gekonnt sich zusammenreden mit dem Sultan. In that case, one would be able to get into a conversation with the Sultan. How are we doing for time? We've still got time. Du Basheva lach, you Basheva laugh, is Reuven geworden, correct. Reuben became agitated, angry. Was haben deine Sozialisten aufgetan in Russland? What have the socialists managed to achieve in Russia? Dank ihrer revolutionärer Meisim kommen dort ein for blutige pogromen. Thanks to their revolutionary activities, bloody pogroms are happening there now. So this must have been in the between 1918, 19.
No,
No,
I think
this is
it's
1903.
earlier.
No,
This is
not
earlier.
1903.
This was after, at the end of World War One, there were the terrible pogroms between about 1918
but I don't think he's referring to that. I think he might be referring to Kishinev, which was 1903.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
also Basheva's joke about talking Turkish to the Sultan, I think that's still during the Ottoman Empire.
Right. So it's
Yeah,
different.
Yes.
No, I think
this
you're
is
right.
this is 1903, 1904.
I think you're right. I think you're
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never been a good time. When der Zionism mit Opstellen, die Pogromen, and Zionism will stopped the pogroms, hat Basheva gefragt, Basheva asked, right farkas, bred from anger. Kinder soll sein genug enough kids, hat Zalman sich ungebeisert, Zalman became angry. Aber Basheva hat noch nicht geendigt, but she hadn't finished off yet. Sie hat geguckt auf Meir and she looked at Meir, wie sie wollte ihm herausgefordert, sich herauszuzogen in dem Indien, as if she was demanding from him to say something about this matter. Sie hat gesagt, she said, es ist schon Hechtzeit, it's already time, it's more than time already, as Menschen sollen begreifen, that people should appreciate Antisemitism und Pogromen seien ein integraler Teil von dem herrschenden System. That anti-Semitism and pogroms are an integral part of the ruling system, of the current ruling system. Heinz schlägt man Jeden in Russland. Today they are beating Jews in Russia. Morgen wird man sie schlagen in Palestine. Tomorrow they will beat them in Palestine, ziehen another land, or else in another land. So long as der kapitalistische System wird regieren, as long as the capitalist system will rule, die Welt wollen die Minoritäten in jeder Land sein, die Kapore hinlegt, für die kapitalistische Interessen. Okay, and so long as the capitalist system rules the world, the minorities in every country will be the scapegoats for the capitalistic interests. That sounds like such a familiar argument. It never disappears.
Such a what? What was the adjective?
It's, I mean, this argument about what system will make anti-Semitism disappear, that's an insoluble problem.
Insoluble.
Yeah. Okay.
Von Moshe.
Ja,
Moshe, ich begreif, als men will opwerfen dem Tsar. Moshe says, I imagine, or I think here, I can see that one will overthrow the Tsar. Wer will das nicht? Who doesn't want that? Aber ich verstehe nicht, was man is äußern mit Sozialism. But I do not understand what is one what does one want with socialism? What does one intend to do with socialism? Will man aufschaffen, Geld gewähren? Does one want to do away with undo money and rich people? Euch der Zionism ist mir nicht zum Herzen. But also Zionism doesn't really appeal to me. Sie willen bringen Mashiach for der Zeit. They, the Zionists, I guess, want to bring the Messiah now, today's date. Der Fakt, als der größte Rabbonim seinen gegen dem, is far mir genug. The fact that the greatest rabbis are against this is enough for me. Reuven hat sich gewendet zu Meeren. Welke seien deine Meinungen in die dosigen Jonen? Reuven turned to Meir and said, what are your opinions in these matters? Meir hat sich gefunden in Verlegenheit. Meir found himself in a how would you?
Is that an embarrassment?
I guess
A dilemma.
difficult,
A dilemma.
Dilemma, yeah, Verlegenheit,
yeah.
dilemma. Hat sich seine Meinungen. He has his opinions. Heim ist gewesen ein Mitglied von einem sozialistischen Jugendverein. Und und ist gewesen theoretischer Sozialist. At home, he was a member of a socialist youth union and was a theoretical socialist, socialist in theory. In der kleiner Städte, wo ist geboren und aufgewachsen geboren, ist nicht gewesen Ort für aktiv sozialistische Arbeit. And the small town where he was born and grew up does not have much place for an active social socialist work. Der zionistische Gedanke is in ganzen gewinn fremd. The Zionist thought was entirely foreign to him. Nicht wellendig sich hereinlosen in Wikuchem bei Salmenen in Heus in einem ersten Tag von seiner Bekanntschaft hat gesagt. So not wanting to get into start up a big debates with Zalman in the house at home, I guess in the house in their first day of knowing each other, he said, meine Idee sei wegen Sozialism und sei wegen Zionism sind noch knapp. My knowledge, my information about both socialism and about Zionism is still like scant. It's still scant. Ich mein, als ich will noch darfen, der gehen viel mehr ich will können, äußern eine bestimmte Meinung und riskieren eine Diskussion wegen dem. I think that I will still need to get or achieve a lot more before I can articulate a defined opinion and risk a discussion about this stuff. Wer is a Chochem? Wat Gittel gesagt? A Chochem, wie ich bin, a jiddische Tochter. Meir is a wise man, Gittel said. A wise man, like just as I am a Jewish woman, Jewish daughter. Sehr gut, hat Reuben Maskim gewesen. Very nice, Reuben agreed. Der beste Ort, sich zu lernen, ist sich anzuschließen zu der zionistischen Kevra, kommen zu unseren Meetingen. Meetingen. So the best place to learn is to I guess to enroll or to decide to be in the Zionist Hevra meeting group. A Hevra is a Hevra, I guess. And come to our meetings. Our Zionist. The best way to learn is to come to our Zionist, club and come to our meetings. In a kurzer Zeit wird für dir alles werden klar. In a very short time, it'll all be clear to you. Das ist euch heil, wenn Mensch liest sich an der sozialistischen Partei, hat Basheva gesagt. This is also hail. I'm guessing what is a hail?
Oh, it'll take place. It'll happen.
This will happen. Yeah, this will happen when one agrees.
Schließt sich an.
When man schließt sich an, when man agrees. When this will take place when one agrees to be in the Socialist Party. Ich will sich bei mir auszugefinden aus, was es wird sich losen in Scheiches mit beide Bewegungen, hat Meir bemerkt. I will exert or try, I will make an effort to find out everything that that will be available in connection with the both movements. Mir fehlen noch Dias in allgemein. We're lacking right now a lot of information in general. Ich will darf in viel Zeit opgeben zu lernen und zu verstehen, zu begreifen, Sachen und begreifen und Sachen und Erscheinungen. I will need a lot of time to give to learning and understanding, to I guess conceptualize or understand things, and they're shining. What's a good way to translate to Erscheinungen?
Phenomena.
Phenomena. Yeah, and apparent. Yeah, things. Yeah, phenomena.
Carry on. Kapitel 4. Afakate, was hat sich gezeugen vor der weiß gekalkter Stelle, is gehangen a größer Blitzlamp. On a chain which was hanging from the whitewashed ceiling, there was hanging a large lamp, a Blitzlamp, a mantle lamp. Was hat beleuchten die nicht große Jatke. This mantle lamp lit up the not very big butchery. Auf Stabes Eisen Lengois die Wand seinen gehangen Seitenfleisch. Zerbräunte Wurst. On rods which were lying along the walls, there was hanging sides of meat and brown sausage. Auf a Bank neben a Fenster seien gelegen Fisch von Ochsen und Schäpsen, Schäpsene Kepler und die nackte Ecken von Behemoths. On a bench next to the window, there were lying the hooves of oxen and sheep and sheep heads and the bare tails of cows. Die Jatke is given full mit Kunden. The butchery was full of customers. Salmen on a Reckel, die Arbel von einem weißen Hemd verkaschert bis über die Ellenbeugens, ist gestanden hinteren Tombank. Salman, without a jacket, his sleeves rolled up, the sleeves of his shirt rolled up to above the elbows, was standing behind the counter. A gestreifter Fahrtuch arum sein Lenden, a striped apron around his waist. A Gehilf beim zweiten Eck von dem Tombak. An assistant was standing on the other side of the counter. Beide haben gearbeitet fleißig. Both of them were working quickly or skillfully. Heck haben gehackt, Sägen gesägt. Und die scharfen Messers haben still und tief sich eingegessen in weichen Fleisch. Heck cleavers were chopping, and their saws were sawing, and sharp knives were quietly and in a deep way eating their way through the soft flesh. Bald ist der Tombank gewesen vollgeladen mit Rib und Steak, mit Flank und Suppfleisch. Soon the whole counter was loaded up with ribs and steak, with flank and soup meat. Kunden haben geklieben Chalokim. Customers chose pieces of meat. Getappt, brokiert, sich gedungen. They touched, they rejected, and they haggled. Gebeten der legen a beindel, a stickel fit, and they asked to add a bone or a piece of fat. Zalman hat eingeladen Meieren, als soll kommen in sein Jatke, sen dem Sof von der Beheme. Zalman invited Meir to come to his butchery to see how a cow was dealt with, und hat zugegeben mit der Schmeichel sich nehmen a Musser und sein Klug. And he added with a smile, you can see what goes on and make an opinion about it. Is Meir itzt gestanden on a side. So Meir was standing on one side. Sich zugeguckt und getracht, and he watched and he thought. Aber viele Salmen so mir geben Arbeit bei ihm in Jatke, was für an Arbeit kon ich do tun? Even if Zalman would give me some work in the butchery, what kind of work will I be able to do? Ich kann nicht hacken kein Fleisch. I can't chop up any meat oder verkaufen or sell it. In ihm überhaupt das ganze Geschäft nicht gefallen. And is ihm überhaupt, and especially the whole business, he didn't like this whole business. Ganze Tag sich verstecken mit Fleisch, mit blutiger Lung und Lebers. Wird willen tun etwas a reinere Meloche. To spend the whole day fiddling with meat, with bloody lung and liver. He would want to do some kind of cleaner work. Bei a Tisch, kimat beim Tier, ist gestanden ein junger Mann und sich geporret mit Chalokim Fleisch. At a table, quite near the door, a young man was standing, and he was occupying himself with pieces of meat. Het is voneinander gelegd, eins neben zweiten. He laid them down, one piece next to another. Und auf jeder Chelik aufgelegt das Stück Papier, auf was hat früher etwas aufgeschrieben. And on each piece he placed a piece of paper on which he had earlier written something. Wenn die Jatke hat sich schon halb ausgeledigt, hat Salman sich gewendet zum jungen Mann. When the butchery had almost emptied out of customers, Zalman turned to the young man. Goldstein, komm zu Nenter. Ich will euch bekennen mit meinem Landsmann, a Griener, tacker erst Nächten gekommen. Goldstein, come here. I want to introduce you to my landsman, a Griener, somebody, a greenhorn, who has actually only arrived here yesterday. Nehmt ihm unter eure Fliegelen. Take him under your wing. Is a Vogel von euer Min. Is euch Meuberes mit das, was ihr ruft Idealism. Aber fliht nicht mit ihm in die Himmeln. So he's a similar sort of person to you. He's also impregnated with that which you people call idealism. But don't fly into the heavens with him. Keep things grounded. Halt sich nun zu der fester Erde. Keep closer to the firm ground. Wird ihr nicht fallen weit, and you won't fall very far. Alle Unwesentliche haben gelacht, and everybody who was present laughed. Goldstein, hoch, blond, mit abgerundigter und ausgeedelte Glieder, glatt rasiert, hat der Landmeeren a weiche weiße Hand mit lange dünne Fingers. Goldstein, a tall, blonde man with rounded and refined limbs, cleanly shaven, gave Meir a soft white hand with long, thin fingers. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom. And they greeted one another. Hat Meir herzlich geantwortet, and Meir cordially answered him. Beide haben geschwiegen. Both of them remained silent. A paar Minuten später hat Goldstein sich gewendet zu Meir, and a few moments later Goldstein turned to Meir. Ob ihr hat Geschick Zeit, nehme ich an, hat ihr gewiss, if you want to, if you have time, and I imagine that you do have time, Immigranten dürfen erst sein in Land Chadoshim, bis sie können sagen, nicht kein Zeit. Immigrants need to be here in the country for some months and before they can say, I don't have time, is ob ihr hot cheshik kommt mit mir a rege willen mir bekennen nenter. So if you want to, come to me for a time, and we'll get to know one another better. A warm, stille Nacht is gelegen in Dreußen. There was a warm, quiet night was outside. Was outside. Menschen, halbnackte, die bovenste Fies versteckt in Pantoffel, haben herumgespaziert in die halbdunkle Gassen. People scantily clad, their bare feet stuck into slippers, were strolling around in the half dark streets. Gesessen auf Bricklich, they were sitting on stoops und Gannikus and porches. Sich mechaye gewinn mit der frische Luft, and they refreshed themselves with the fresh air. Ergens auf dem Weg hat Goldstein sich abgestellt bei einer Bäckerei. Somewhere along the way, Goldstein stopped at a bakery. Hat sich entschuldigt, and he excused himself. Ich komm tekef zurück, und is rein in a wenig. He said, I'll come back immediately, and he went inside. A paar Minuten später ist rausgekommen, tragende Kasäckel mit Brot. And a few moments later, he came out carrying a bag of bread. Jetzt, hat gesagt, gehen wir zu mein Dira. Now, he said, we'll go to my flat, my apartment. Sein Dira is bestanden von ein Zimmer in ein neuer Gebäude. His apartment was made up of one room in a new building, nicht weit von Salmons Haus, not far from Salmons house. In Zimmer, a bed, a Kleiderschrank, a paar Stühlen, a Waschtischel, a Spiegel. And in the room, there was a bed, a closet, a wardrobe, a pair of chairs, a washing table, and a mirror. Auf ein Wand, a Politzer mit Bücher. On one wall, there was a shelf with books. Auf der zweiten, einige billige Landschaften und Fotografien von einigen jüdischen und russischen Schreibers. On one wall, there was a shelf with books, and on the other one, some cheap landscapes and photographs of several Yiddish and Russian writers. Inmitten Zimmer, a klein rund Tischel. In the middle of the room, there was a small round table, gedeckt mit a weiß Tischtuchel. Auf dem Tischel, gerammte Bild von einer Frau mit einem Kind beim Saat. So on this small round table, covered with a little white cloth, and on the small table there was a framed picture of a woman with a child next to her. Goldstein had gewiesen auf dem Bild. Goldstein pointed to the picture. Mein Frau und Tochter. This is my wife and daughter. Is rausgegangen, and he went out. Wenn ist gekommen zurück, hat ein schwarzer Diener gebracht auf der Tatz 2 Gläser Tee mit etliche Biscuits auf a teller. And when he came back into a black servant brought on a tray 2 glasses of tea with several biscuits on a plate. Sie haben getrunken das Tee und Goldstein hat gewollt wissen vom Mehreren, von wann kommt. They drank the tea, and Goldstein wanted to find out from Meyer where he came from, was hat getan daheim, and what he used to do when he was at home, und welche Aussichten für Arbeit hat da, and what prospects of work that he had over here. Aber sich der wissendig, als Meyer hat da a Vater und a Salmen is a Landsmann und a weiter Korov, hat gesagt. But when he came to know that Meyer had his father here and that Zalman was a Landsmann and also a distant relative, he said, Sie wollen mistomme euch schön besorgen mit Arbeit. They will probably provide you with work. Ich Gufa, hat zugegeben mit der Schmeichel, bin noch euch in der Kategorie von Greener. I myself, he added with a smile, I'm also in the category of a greenhorn, a newly arrived person. Erst 2 Jahre in Land. I've only been here for 2 years in this country. Hat gewiss bemerkt in Jatke, als ich hab sich geäßigt mit Fleisch. You probably noticed in the butchery that I was dealing with meat. Derweil is es mein Parnossa. In the meantime, this is my livelihood. Ich bin auf dem Higen Loschen a Trier, a Peddler, oder Heusierer mit koscher Fleisch. I am in as they say here locally, I'm a trier, a peddler. And this word Heusierer is also a synonym for a peddler. And I peddle kosher meat und euch Brot, and also bread.
Trier,
Leider,
excuse me, Trier is a peddler?
yes, the word trier is actually a South Africanism. It comes from the English to try. And
I see.
so you try and do this, and you try and do
Do
that,
that.
and whatever
Okay.
works
right.
for you, that's what you carry
End
on
up.
as your livelihood.
Okay.
So it's a trier, a peddler. It's a synonym for the same thing. So leider kon ich sich nicht erlauben dem Luxus von einer Pferdenwagen. Unfortunately, I can't allow myself the luxury of a horse and cart. Meyer hat getracht and Meyer thought, mein Futter is länger in dem Land und kann sich es noch euch nicht erlauben. My father has, he thought to himself, has been longer in the country than you, and he still has not been able to reach, to allow, to get himself a horse and cart. Bin ich derweil in der Pferd und ieder Pferd, ieder Wagen. So in the meantime, I am the horse and the cart. Ich bind zusammen a Säckel Brot mit a Säckel Fleisch. I pack together a package of bread and a bag of meat. Warf es rüber über ein Plätze and I throw it over my shoulder und spazier sich so von Kund zu Kund. And I walk in this way from one customer to another. Sie leben zerworfen über den Stadt, and they are spread out over the city. Die Sonne brennt dem Kopf, bricht das Leib, a din weiß Samt wie Semmelmehl sippt sich über euch, verkriecht in Mäul, Nose, Euren und Augen. The sun burns one's head. It as if it fries the body. A thin white sand, like fine meal, filters over you, and it gets into your mouth, your nose, your ears, and your eyes. Die Füße werden klotzschwer. One's feet become like heavy logs. Der Rücken durch sich euch wird und bald sich brechen auf Hälfte. One's back, would seem, will soon break into two pieces. Und ort seid ihr schon beim Kunst in Haus. And then you arrive at the customer's house. Es gelust euch, sich zusetzen, ruhen, unchappen dem Atem. One wants to sit down, to catch one's breath. Aber kiemat jeder Kund oder Kundige, ob man kann gebräuchen als ein Ausdruck, machmes, ich hab zu tun durch Haus mit Freuen, die Hausballabostes, kiemat jeder eine von sei begegnet euch miteinander Pismen. So it's when feels like your back wants to break in two. One wants to rest, to catch one's breath, but almost every customer, male or female, if one can use such an expression, because I almost deal completely with women, with housewives. Almost each one of them greets one with another pismon, literally a song. Mr. Favos seid ihr heint so spät? Mr. Why are you so late today? Mr. Der nächtige heilig Fleisch is gewinn zu fett. Mr. The piece of meat that you bought yesterday was too fat, oder too mager, or either too fat or too lean. Ich habe bestellt am Morgen. Wo is the Morgen? I ordered a stomach. Where is the stomach? Mister, ob ihr konnt nicht bringen das Fleisch Punkt 7 in der Früh, darft ihr im Ganzen sich nicht bamieren oder rasateilen. So if you can't bring the meat exactly at 7 o'clock in the morning, then you don't bother at all. Or this kind of claim. Mister, favos geht ihr nicht durch der Hintertür? Or Mister, why don't you use the back door?